train running. Yay. While I've had trains running on the layout, I've had a lot more that I have done that has made me not be able to run trains, but yet I've been able to. So we're going to talk about it right now in this April update of the Iowa Eastern Division of the Kansas City Southern right here on Model Railroad Talk. So stick around because we're going to get this show on the tracks. So welcome to this episode Model Railroad Talk. This, like we said in the intro, this is the April 2025 update, layout update. Been doing a fair amount of work, been doing some track work, I guess is the best way to put it, and that being filling in ties where rail connectors come together and you have to cut out ties, putting ties back in there, running different locomotives and trains and stuff like that to find, I don't really want to use the term bad spots in the rail, but spots that aren't ideal for certain locomotives. It's weird how you can have certain locomotives roll through over a rail joint or a turnout and they roll through beautifully, but then you have certain ones that give you problems. So I've been doing a lot of that. Plus, I've been working on getting my ASATRAC system in. I purchased my third module. Now, you do need to purchase more modules for each signal that you have. But as you go, it starts to add up and really start get cool. With the ASATRACs, you can start with one module, but it's really highly recommended to get at least two to start seeing the effects of the system. But then once you get that third one and get it installed, which I'm currently, it's installed, but I've got to redo some of my wiring. Is kind of one of those things where I wanted to make sure everything was functioning properly before I tucked all my wire and mounted stuff. So, but anyways, it's really, really cool. And we're going to actually have ASATRACs, John from ASATRACs, on an episode coming up here soon to talk about the ASATRACs line. So I'm excited about that. Before we get into doing any more video, don't forget about our Broadway Limited gift certificate giveaway, courtesy of Broadway Limited. Thank you to them. That is ends April 26th of 2025. I will be doing, that's when, I should say, midnight that night. That's when the entry forms will, basically you can't enter anymore. And from that point forward, we will be doing the drawing probably within a day or so after that. And then we'll be doing a special video and audio podcast announcing the winner, of course, after we've reached out to them and made sure we have proper communication and all that good stuff. So so thank you to Broadway Limited for supporting this podcast. We really appreciate it. If you haven't checked it out yet, check out our website, www.modelrailroadtalk.com. We've updated it, made it a little more, I don't want to say necessarily user-friendly, but a little more, changed it around, just because the old website was just confusing and everything else, and I finally had a little bit of time to do that. So enough with that. Let's move on to the layout tour. So to start out, this, we've talked about this, and there's lots of talks out there about other things, about this, other places that talk about this, but this right here is actually a picture I pulled off the internet. It is actually of Davenport, Iowa. that I pulled off, and I wanted to have city in the background of some kind, and but I wanted it kind of in the distance, so that's why I printed it the way I did. Yes, there's water in the front here. I'm not going to have water on it. That will be cut down. I'm planning on cutting this down some once I figure out exactly where it's going to go. Right now, right there is just a trial spot. I've been moving it around the layout, different places from down there, and this is where it ends up. But next thing, I'm going to be moving it down here and um, basically moving it around until I find, obviously not there, until I find a spot that, whether it's on the upper level or lower level, that works for me. And of course, you all have seen the Casey's, where now I have street lights in it, which I'm thinking about removing a few of the street lights when it is when I have the lights off. Here, I'll turn the light off. It's almost like they overpower the regular LEDs. So, or the ones inside and in the canopy. So I'm thinking about removing, probably 2 to 3 of them. I haven't decided that yet, but that's for future reference. Then, of course, up here we have where now you can really see it. You can kind of see over here where the signal is. There's going to be a road that goes here, and I'll show you what's on the other side of this wall, or that back there. But the road, there's going to be a city scene here that kind of comes right here that will kind of cover that corner some. The road will not only will kind of curve here and come off the front of it, but it's actually going to go and fade off into the back of the backdrop there. The purpose of that is just to fill in that corner and make it to where um, there's a lot of area there, and I don't want hills. I don't want anything like that. So I'm still working on that, but I do know I want this city scene right here, like a not really downtown, but like a small town street kind of thing. And I will tell you this, if you dread wiring, don't be looking at my layout. This is the last Azatrax model here that I installed. Um, of course, the way it worked out, one of the signals is on my lift gate. So, which in turn means that I have to have extra wire to run down. And that is what I'm currently working on right now. But this is a scene that I'm working on. There again, the backdrop is actually a photo that I took down at my work and printed it off, scaled it right, printed it off. And this is what goes, is basically coming out of the Montana yard or going into the Montana yard. Um, but it's, as you've seen, the train run around, it does have access for continuous run. But this is basically where that road's going to end, that goes in the city town or into the little town, whatever. And this is going to be based on, you can see the name, it's going to be a little fishing shop and all that good stuff. And as you can see, signals are going in, and I'm excited about that. So as you've probably noticed with the video walking around, you see all sorts of stuff on the layout that is not train related. If you're new to the hobby, and by no way, no means, no way am I cutting down anybody that does any of these videos. We all do videos our own way, and we're all at different levels and stages of our railroad build. You see the videos of the railroads that are fully scenic and you don't see any tools out. Well, that's because they've done all their heavy building, I guess. Whereas I'm still in the building stage. I'm unfortunately one of those that if I see something, I'm like, oh, I want to do it. Azatrax, as an example, I wanted to get the signaling system in before I got too far with scenery. As the last scene I just showed you, as far as um, where I have the backdrop that or I should say the backdrop picture that I took at work while I was at work and printed off. I started scenicking that, and then after I started that, that's when I decided to go with Azatrax. Bings that I had where a couple signals were going, had already put in scenery or started putting in scenery. It made it a little bit more, I don't want to say it was more of a pain, but it definitely created a little bit more of a mess because of that. So I decided, you know what, I am going to, I'm going to do like Tony Bowen over at Corn Country Rails suggested, or like he did, doing one module per month, or one signal set per month. Um, as I sit right now, I have 2 more to get done for my upper level, and then it'll be working on the lower level. So um, that I may get done in this month sometime, or within the next month. I may just order both of those and the signals I need for that, and get the upper level completely done. That way I can really continue on my scenery work, because I'm one of those that I hate to do things twice, and I hate to tear something up that I've already done, especially if it's great scenery. You look at, if you go over to Corn Country Rails, Tony Bowen, where he talks about the Azatrax, and I'm cringing for him drilling through his beautiful scenery along his main line of his Rock Island Railroad, as he drills through it to put in his signal heads. Now, I'm sure he had different feelings of excitement to get the Azatrax line in, but on the flip side of that token, is, you put all that work in, and it's just hard to do. So for me, being that it's still plywood Pacific, even though I've got it painted and stuff like that, it's a little bit easier, or way easier, to just, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, get it done, and be done. Um, so yeah. So as for operations, I have actually done a few. I've been doing operating, uh, a little bit off and on. Um, I've been doing transfer runs between my Montana yard, going east down to Egremont yard down here that you can see right back there. Um, just kind of testing out what locomotives I need to be able to pull, what, yeah, I want to be able to do big long trains, but until I get all my locomotives perfectly as perfect as you can get, speed matched with the incline that I have, the no licks is what they call it. I'm kind of limited to between 10 and 15 rail cars, which in reality, between the 2 yards, that's more than enough cars that get transferred, because I've got, as you can see down here, this is where my railroad bends off, or cuts off and goes south. I've got switching back here. I've got enough switching everywhere that I don't need to be able to. Yeah, everybody wants to see big, large trains run. Maybe someday I'll have an opportunity to take maybe um, my locomotives and go to a layout somewhere and be able to take and run a big 50, 60 car grain train with, 2 or 3 locomotives on the head, maybe a couple DPUs in the middle, and or one or a couple at the rear, whatever. But until that time comes, I'm satisfied with what I have. But I've been working on up here, um, getting the track right, and like I said earlier, I've been working on getting the ties that you remove to put the track in. Um, got those all done, I believe, on the entire layout. Um, Actually, looking around, I see a few spots that I have to put in a few pieces, but that's easy enough. I do have, I still have some, uh, a lot of track work to fine tune, find the problem locomotives, and that's what I do a lot. I will take a set of locomotives. If you're wondering, these are GP60M Proto 2000s that I got at the Lincoln Area Train Show. But I'll run those, say, with a train, different trains. I've got my Atlas um, SD40 um, running around right now with a small train. That's going to be like that locomotive already designated as not only a yard switcher but local kind of thing. Um, my Intermountains and my scale trains, Gevos. I need to get those up and running around again a little bit more too, to be able to test them out and run them on every inch of track, so I can start seeing, okay, well, here's a problem, here's a problem. Because at the other end of this yard, I can only bring in these big locomotives on these 2 outside tracks. I cannot take them on any of the other ones, which is fine, because that was kind of the plan, to where I could bring them in, pull the trains off or the cars off, they back out, go basically sit back here on the siding to simulate uh, engine servicing. And then when their train's ready, which would be on either track 1 or track 2 right here, they hook up and then they can go down. And those are basically for transfer runs between the two. Something else I've been doing, or I should say a couple things that I've been doing as well to get a break from some of that. Not only trying to get it to where I'm running trains more, but um, something that I enjoy doing down the road after the fact is not only just weathering, but going through cars and putting in high details. I have not started on this one yet, but as I should say putting the details on, but if you can see here, this is an Athearn blue box car, but it's got the molded on grab irons and stuff like that. I enjoy cutting those out, putting metal ones on, that kind of thing, and really taking them to another level. As you can see, I've been working on some weathering. Yeah, that's not right. After I put my initial coat on, I realized I wanted to start marring up the road name and stuff on there, so I'm working on that. But the other thing, to more modernize this, I've been taking as an example, let me grab one from back here. So this is an Intermountain 50-foot box car that I have, that's Kansas City Southern, and it's excuse me, my mic deal came off the back of my pocket. Never had that happen before. But great detail and stuff. But if you notice, it's got a roof walk. Basically, in a sense, too old of a car for what I'm doing. So what I've been doing, and I've got several of them on the railroad, and I know I've talked about this before. We had one comment about several videos ago, because they seen it in front of a Gevo, right? Actually, let me grab one that I've already done. What I've been doing is actually converting them, along with weathering them, to take the catwalks off, to modernize it more. And that's basically, I've taken off this one I've already done. I still have to do more. Take off the catwalk, the ladders, I cut them down. And that's actually based off looking at pictures and stuff of modern ones. And then back here, dropping the brake wheel off. Now on this, as you can see on top here, I've got little marks from like the glue that they put on. So I've got to go through with basically a sander and a sanding stick, and kind of sand that down. And let me look, I'm looking here to see if I can find one. Here's one. What you can see is on the top here, you can see what I've, after doing that, but I don't actually touch up the paint on those. If you look here, this one I didn't touch up the paint or anything on, and you can't really tell. All I did was just weather it, and it turned out really, really well. So in my opinion, it turned out really well. So just something, you don't necessarily have to touch up the paint when you do stuff like that, because sometimes those little differences actually add to the weathering and the look of the car. So been dragging on a little bit about this. So what we're going to say is this: the future, very near future, I'm of the railroad plans, going to try to continue to work on my track work, trying to find the bad spots the best I can with locomotives and rail cars and stuff, and get those worked out. Continuing on with my Azatrax install. And obviously building it up with scenery and stuff, but immediate though, continue to work on rail cars and weathering and whatnot like that as I need the little bit of break to do something different. Because we've said this before in the past. I'm one of those that I like to do, okay, lay track, let's get all the track laid first. Then let's do this. Complete each step. Well, in this hobby, you don't necessarily need to do that. I'm one of those that most of the time, yes, I need to complete step by step by step. It's just who I am. But I've learned, maybe it's from being older, but also this time around, I've learned that the nice little breaks, switching to weathering, modifying cars, modernizing them, I should say, working on doing backdrops, and it helps me maintain and my enjoyment of this hobby, which I'll never lose. But anyways, but so that's what my immediate is I'm going to get the Azatrax done, continue working, first and foremost, get my Azatrax where I'm at up and get my wire or my cabling ran for the next couple that I'm going to be doing. Continue working on track spots. I like right now, I know of a couple spots for sure that I've got to really work on and go in and fine tune and make some adjustments. And then from there, it's just whatever I see fit, working on structures. I got several structures that I need to start building. Some that I've already started. I need to at least get them to a certain point because they're driving me nuts seeing them the way they are for so long. And then also operating, working on my operation scheme and just enjoying running trains. So, anyways, yeah, that's kind of what's in the near future, immediate near future, I guess, for lack of a better term, for what I have planned for the road. So I want to thank you. Grab my throttle here, get it out of my way. I want to thank you for watching this. I know recently we have gained quite a few followers here on YouTube. I really, really appreciate y'all coming on and following and subscribing, that kind of thing. It means the world to me. I know we have gained a couple new Patreon premium supporters, and thank you to them. If you're interested in that, head on over to patreon.com/ModelRailroadTalk. We've got some plans over there. I know our audio podcast has really picked up. We've had lots and lots of guests on that I've recorded with that will be coming out over the next several weeks of audio podcasts. So that's still going strong. Big shout out to Broadway Limited again. Thank you to Broadway Limited for supporting us on not only the podcast and these productions, but also for our first actual giveaway for the podcast, Model Railroad Talk Productions. So I'm excited to have them on. Also, thank you to Broadway Limited for creating the Conductors Club. I'm super excited to get I know they're Gevos coming out, but they're of the new CPKC paint scheme. And you're going to be like, hold on, you're doing Kansas City Southern. But here's the thing. I originally started out doing CPKC or Canadian Pacific, but then that was right about the time the merger came around. So I was going to do CPKC. Then I backdated because I really wanted to go Kansas City Southern. But the CPKC paint scheme is, in my opinion, is way cool. So why not? I have to have at least two of their locomotives. Well, through the Conductors Club, we have, in a sense, first dibs on those, and they have them in both HO and N scale, and at a killer price in the Conductors Club. So check them out, Broadway Limit or Broadway-Limited.com, and then look up their Conductors Club. They have some great prices on some, and it's not a large selection of locomotives, but they have several really good locomotives, and I think that changes from time, or I know it changes. I don't know how often, but just the price and membership alone saved me a lot of money for those two locomotives that I pre-ordered. So thank you to Broadway Limited for doing great on that and supporting this podcast. So, and if you go over there, reach out to them, whatever, just tell them you heard you heard their name on Model Railroad Talk. That helps me, that helps you, that helps everybody. So also check out Benjamin from Benjamin Trains here on YouTube. I know he's been trying to get his subscriber count up. He's modeling the N scale KCS Baxter Springs Lawton branch. You can go to our website, www.modelrailroadtalk.com, and there's a link over there, or you can just look him up on here, Benjamin Trains. But so check him out, and check out also Alan's N Scale World on Facebook. I'm doing great things over there with weathering cars and stuff, and in fact, he did a few of my cars. I've showed him on here, and amazing work. Unfortunately, he lives about 5 or 6 hours away from me, so it's not like I can just, hey, here's some more cars for you to do, and and unfortunately, shipping is getting expensive to be able to ship him cars and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to work with him to get send him some more cars, because I want to see him do his magic on some cars. So yeah, check him out, Alan's N Scale World on Facebook. By all means, check out our website, www.modelrailroadtalk.com. We have, like I stated, we updated it. It is, I think, better. And I'm continually coming up with ideas for that website, but I also don't want to bog down the website with stuff. So if you're interested in coming on to the audio podcast and you'd like to tell your story, go to our website. We have a link at the top that says your story. It's a little form you fill out. Tell us why you want to be on the show, and we'll talk to you and see if we can get you approved to be on the show. So if you want to reach out to us, modelrailroadtalk@gmail.com. We don't forget the Iowa City Train Show, October 19th, 2025, put on by the Hawkeye Model Railroad Club. That'll be our first show that we're going to, and we will actually have a table there. So we're super excited about that, and I'm actually looking up, and July 19th is the week of July, or starting July 19th for several days, is the Johnson County Fairgrounds, which is there in Iowa City. If you're in the area, check it out. They're going to have their layout open, and actually we are planning on going there, shooting some video for YouTube channel here of them, and so super excited about that. So thank you to them, not only for coming on the show. In fact, their episode just released today, April 5th, and but check them out, HawkeyeModelRRClub.com. And then on there, you can check out the train show that we will be at this year. So stop by, say hi, get some stickers. So having said all that, at least this time around, I had a train going, right? Thank God I put in that option for continuous run, both for upper level and lower level. But my lower level, I didn't say this. Side note, my lower level swing gate is giving me fits again. I think I have the solution. I just need to find time to get it done. So we'll talk about that a whole nother time. So like always, thank you for watching. You have until April 26th of this year, 2025, to get your submission in. Go to our website, www.modelrailroadtalk.com. You'll see the giveaway. Click on that. It'll take you to a link that you can fill out to submit to us. We'll put your name in, one entry per person for the $50 gift certificate giveaway for Broadway Limited. April 26th at midnight, it'll shut down and no more. And we will be drawing, like we said, in the next few days after that. So head on over there. Thank you to Broadway Limited. Head on over there, get your name in if you already haven't. And if you want a second entry, because it's one entry per person, unless you are a premium supporter. If you're a premium supporter, we automatically give you a second entry. So there's some benefits there besides getting a second entry. So we told you that. Patreon.com/ModelRailroadTalk, or you can go over to buymeacoffee.com/ModelRailTalk. show a little support that way, and that'll get you a second entry. Or you can always do it through PayPal at Model Railroad Talk. Show us some support that way, and we'll give you a second entry there. So thank you for watching this episode. And like we always say, keep your train on the tracks.